Alaska is impartial. No matter your experience, length of time off the grid, or number of winters, it doesn't care. Rules are straightforward. Adapt or die. That's what makes Life Below Zero special. More than reality TV. Reality at its rawest. Several hardy, solitary people risk frostbite, hunger, and solitude to live free. We've seen them hunt in blizzards, mend snowmobiles with frozen fingers, and build homes from trees and gravel. The cameras captured survival, but not necessarily the toll. The show continues in 2025, despite problems. Let's discuss life before discussing these difficulties. Because everyone fights something below zero. Consider Sue Aikens. This extraordinary woman has made surviving an art in one of Earth's most remote areas. She endured hardships at Kavik River Camp alone that would shatter most people. Sue discovered that the harsh Arctic environment doesn't discriminate through terrifying situations that tested her strength. One of Sue's most dramatic experiences was encountering a big grizzly bear near her camp. She was critically hurt and battling for her life after the encounter. The bear attack caused serious injuries that needed quick treatment. However, being over 200 miles from aid, Sue had to use her own resources and strength. She called for emergency evacuation on her radio, but the experience left physical and emotional scars. How Sue handled the aftermath makes this incident even more amazing. The incident made her more prepared and vigilant, not forsaking her rural lifestyle. Kavik River Camp's remoteness poses psychological obstacles beyond what most people can conceive. Sue often goes days or weeks without seeing anyone, which can be deceptive. She said summer's limitless daylight and winter's full darkness can affect sleep and mental acuity. She occasionally talks to herself to hear a voice since the quiet is so unbearable. But dealing with equipment malfunctions without aid may be hardest. Imagine your generator going down in minus 40 degrees with no backup. Throughout her Arctic career, weather has been Sue's worst enemy. She has survived days-long blizzards with winds that threatened to destroy her buildings. She lost power for a week during a big storm and used backup heating systems while conserving fuel. Despite her preparations, her water lines froze, leaving her without running water in the harshest conditions. These scenarios need split-second decisions that can determine safety or disaster. Equipment breakdowns are some of Sue's most stressful moments, and she must solve each puzzle with what she has. After her snowmobile died on a supply run miles from camp, she risked being left in sub-zero weather. After hours in dangerous conditions with diminishing daylight, she used her mechanical skills from years of necessity to jury-rig a temporary fix that got her back to safety. Alaska's Hailstone family lives wild. Wild means exceedingly wild. Chip and Chip. Agnes Hailstone reside on the Kobuk River in Norvik, just outside the Arctic Circle, away from city lights and traffic. Chip and Agnes are raising many children. 5 girls, Kutan, Tinmiak, Iriktak, Caroline, and Mary. And 2 sons, Douglas and John, are Agnes's from a previous relationship. Teamwork is essential to life in the Hailstone home. Whether hunting, gathering, or cooking, everyone helps keep things running smoothly. This isn't your typical life. Chip and Agnes don't work a 9-to-5 job with a bi-weekly payment. They rely on hunting, fishing, trapping, and trading. The Hailstones barter as much as they eat in the Alaskan wilderness to maximize resources. They may trade seafood for fuel or furs for gear. One step ahead of nature is key. Nature up there is real. Winters are terrible. Better have a strategy than just grab a jacket cold. Temperatures often drop below zero and might drop to minus 50 or 60 degrees Fahrenheit on the worst days. A gust of wind makes it extra frigid. The Hailstones have come to accept that as part of existence. On Life Below Zero, fan favorite Chip puts it all in perspective. His social media summary was one line: "I hunt, fish, and gather to make a living honestly." Though tiny, it's a powerful reminder of how much effort and tenacity their life demands. Chip doesn't fantasize of pizza or rich sweets while hungry. His comfort food? Caribou. Most people define comfort food as creamy, cheesy, or sweet. Chip loves freshly hunted caribou best. Their family relies on it for sustenance throughout the long winters. Hailstones are tough and driven. Chip wrote, "Motivated people motivate us," in another December 2, 2024 social media post. A simple line with much meaning. In a society where people give up at the first indication of adversity, hailstones keep going. They persevere to mend a snowmobile, find food in a snowstorm, or teach their children survival skills. Born March 18, 1969, Glenn Villeneuve grew up in picturesque Burlington, Vermont. Nature and woodlands shaped his love of the outdoors from a young age. Not his thing, though, school. Glenn preferred exploring forests than studying, therefore he didn't attend much school. We know he had a brother named Neil Villeneuve, but little else about his early life. Glenn was independent before he appeared on TV. He acquired fame for his tough lifestyle and no-frills survival abilities after joining Life Below Zero, aged 35. Glenn met German opera singer Sylvia Dumachan in the 1990s. The couple married in 2001 and relocated to Alaska to be closer to nature, which Glenn had always wanted. Willow Leaves and Wolfsong were their 2006 and 2009 children. They split amicably in 2013 after a decade. Their breakup is confidential, but they co-parent their kids, who resided with Sylvia until 2018 before moving in with Glenn in Fairbanks. Love soon rediscovered Glenn online. Trisha Kazan was in Massachusetts when he met her on Facebook. After 3 months of talking, they met in Glenn's hometown and soon grew closer. Trisha and daughter Amelia joined Glenn in Alaska by November 2014. 3 years later, Agatha, their daughter, was born in June 2017. Glenn and his family spent half the year in a secluded Brooks Range cottage near Chandalar Lake filming Life Below Zero. He hunts moose, caribou, grizzly bear, and sheep without dogs. He uses only his Ruger M77 Mk2 rifle for safety. Glenn's daring wilderness living made him a fan favorite in over 80 episodes. He left the show in 2019 to focus on personal growth and wellness. His current challenge is a 1-meal-a-day diet and 10-kilometer walks to lose weight and keep fit. Glenn now lives between Fairbanks and the Brooks Range, still simple and connected to the land, and occasionally visits his wife in Fabryansk to manage business. Jesse Holmes is multifaceted, a champion dog sled racer, carpenter, fisherman, and TV personality. Jesse from Odenville, Alabama, was rough from the start, but he didn't last long in the South. He packed everything and went to Alaska at 16. He took a risk that changed his life. After enjoying Alaska, Jesse relocated to Montana and worked as a carpenter for 3 years. His goal of moving to Alaska full-time was closer with each payment. After saving enough, he moved and has been off the grid since. Jesse lives in Brushkana, Alaska, a remote town with snow, seclusion, and sled dogs. He lives alone but does have company. He lives with 40 sled dogs, his racing team, and associates. Jesse is an avid musher who races his dogs through rugged Alaskan terrain. He spends his days hunting, fishing, and training for major races like the Iditarod, a famed long-distance sled dog race that challenges endurance, ability, and survival. Even Jesse, a seasoned survivalist, has accidents. He revealed on Instagram in August 2021 that he had broken his collarbone after a utility work vehicle crash. Fortunately, he recovered quickly and resumed his regimen. Another huge setback followed. Jesse had a catastrophic accident in Gullivan, Alaska in October 2022. He and a group of buddies volunteered to clean up Typhoon Merbok's damage to Alaska's western coast. Unfortunately, Jesse shattered several bones on the trip and was taken to Nome and then Anchorage for treatment. He was forced off Life Below Zero, his breakout reality show, due to catastrophic injuries. Friends' GoFundMe campaign earned almost $40,000 in less than a week for his surgery and recovery. Fans rallied around him. Though the accident halted his fame, Jesse remains a symbol of bravery and persistence. He enjoys living life on his own terms, whether he's racing through snow with his sled dogs or recovering after another dangerous encounter. Andy Basich has faced significant shifts and serious challenges along the Yukon River that have tested his resilience beyond ordinary survival scenarios. He had to handle all homestead chores alone after his divorce from Kate, which caused emotional and practical problems. The psychological burden of isolation increased when he no longer had a partner to share the massive task required to sustain their isolated lifestyle. During ordinary property maintenance, Andy seriously hurt his hip, one of his most perilous accidents. The injuries required many operations and a long recuperation, but being so far from medical facilities made treatment difficult. In excruciating pain, he had to plan for emergency evacuation, and his remote lifestyle needed physical activity his recuperating body couldn't manage, complicating his recuperation. Andy's location requires water transport for supplies and communication, but river ice has made it treacherous. The outside world. During spring breakup, unpredictable ice conditions can imprison him at Homestead or make traveling to town for supplies dangerous. He has had close calls with ice breaking and dumping his boat partially into the chilly sea, causing him to make emergency repairs in hypothermic conditions. Two people learning to work together in a setting where mistakes might have major consequences was positive and challenging with his new partner, Denise. Youth gives energy and adaptability, but it also means they're still learning things that older, more experienced wilderness inhabitants have learned via costly trial and error. The duo has experienced various equipment issues that tested their technical talents and teamwork. They had to work together to analyze and fix their heating system during a cold spell as their cabin temperature fell dangerously. The risk of freezing while fixing complicated mechanical systems tested their relationship dynamics and problem solving. Eric and Martha May were worried about food preservation problems after unexpected weather ruined their beef cache. After losing a lot of their conserved food, they had to hunt and fish more quickly and ration their remaining supplies. Stress from the possibility of running out of food in winter damaged their survival strategy and relationship. His obligation to teach his children traditional ways of living includes balancing cultural teaching with current safety concerns. Rico's most worrisome experience was teaching his children traditional berry-picking tactics to an agitated bear. He needed traditional bear behavior expertise and current safety methods to safeguard his children without scarring them about wilderness activities. He had to handle a dangerous circumstance while reassuring his children in ancient ways. Rico has been caught in storms without shelter with his children. He must make emergency arrangements while keeping his kids calm and learning from the survival process. When children are at risk, instruction and fear control must be balanced. Many cast members have endured bitter loneliness, untreated injuries, and months without sunlight. Some have openly discussed seasonal depression, cabin fever, and the mental toll of solitude. It's obvious when blizzards keep you indoors for weeks, generators fail, and snow piles up against your door. Alaska challenges your body and spirit. Still, they stay. Why? The answer is between freedom and crazy. Some want escape from society, while others love the land too much to leave. Many want to prove they can survive to themselves. Sue said there's no backup plan, you're it. These people get no praise, likes, or hefty paychecks. Their pay is quieter and harder to explain. Pride, peace, purpose. Purpose doesn't cover everything. In Alaska, even the strong don't always survive. Would you try living off the grid like Life Below Zero's characters for a week? Share in the comments. Enjoy stories of tenacity, survival, and the unknown? Subscribe.